Alright guys, this video is going to be juicy. Today I'm going to be talking about the strategy, the setup that pays me every single week. This is an example of a trade that I took with this exact setup. You can see I entered right over here, sold over here. We're going to talk about why I took the trade, what the strategy is, how I do it every single week to make profits like this over here. So let's waste no time, let's get into it. First, obviously these are my broker statements. We've talked about this so many times. You can see I turned 13,000 into 480,000. The next year, 2024, I turned 480,000 into 1.2 million. Now it's 2025. Obviously, it's gone up a bit. So let's get into the video. So let's go back for a second and ask ourselves, like, what would be the best strategy? If we had to talk about the most ideal strategy out there, what would it look like? What would it include? How would it be, right? There's a couple of things that come to my mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is repeatability, right? You cannot be making money from a strategy where you only trade once a month, once a year. You're never going to be able to grow your account. The strategy needs to be able to be traded every single day. If not every single day, then maybe every other day, but at least once or twice per week. That's one of the main things about the strategy that I like, because I can trade the strategy 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes 4, sometimes maybe even 5. So consistently, I'm making trades, consistently I'm making profits, and my account is consistently growing. It's not like I take a trade once every 2 weeks, and then that's going to be a loss, and the next 2 weeks is going to be a win, and now my account is back to baseline. Like, this is consistent repeatability. It works every single day, it works every single week, it works every single month, and every single year. That's one of the biggest things to take away from this, is that like an ideal strategy should be repeatable. You should be able to do this year after year after year. One of the few things that I kind of realized when I was first like learning about trading all this stuff was that there were so many like schemes and all these strategies going around, right? We had these indicators. There was a phase one time where the whole trading community was obsessed over indicators. Everybody was talking about the best indicator trading view, a win rate 99%. This is the best strategy. And you click the video, and it's a combination of like 2 or 3 random indicators on TradingView, and the guy says, hey guys, when the indicator turns green over here and then there's a buy signal over here, you buy, guys, and then when it goes up there's going to be a sell signal and it's going to turn red, guys, so then you sell. Like, it was just a whole load of horse shit, and that's the reason I lost so much money, because I didn't know what I was doing. You can't just rely on a buy and sell indicator and then be like, wow, we're going to make money. That's not how it works, right? So it needs to be repeatable. It should work not only for 1 or 2 trades, it should work like every single week, every single month, for year on year on year, right? Because we're in this trading game for the long run. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's none of this stuff. We're in this trading game for the long run. The second thing that comes to mind is it needs to be simple. One thing I hate, and again, like, the only reason people do this is because they like to sound smart. I literally don't care if I sound smart or dumb. It doesn't matter to me, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm making money from a strategy, I don't care if people think that it's not complex enough, or I don't care what they think, because that strategy works. So I like to keep things super simple. I'm not one of those guys that talks about all these like, smart money concepts, ICT, fair value gaps. Like, I don't know what any of that stuff means, but if I can still be profitable, that should tell you that you don't need to know those things either. Like, people like to sound smart, right? They like to say all these like big terminologies, all this jargon to try and sound smart. I don't know. I'm admitting in front of you, I don't know what any of those things mean. But if I can find a system that works, then that clearly shows you that there's no need to know what those things mean, right? There's no need to overcomplicate certain things. Trading, you really cannot overcomplicate. The more you overcomplicate, the worse you're going to perform. Because I keep things super simple, I make a lot of money. And here's the thing. Back when I used to lose money, it was super complex. Like I said, I had like 15 indicators on the chart. I used to be following 15 different strategies, 15 different alerts set up with different noises for each type of alert. It was in hotkeys. It was crazy. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But as soon as I switched it, made everything super simple, that's when I started becoming profitable. So that's one of the biggest things you need to learn. And the last thing I'll talk about is, obviously it needs to be profitable. This sounds like common sense, but it really isn't. Your strategy needs to have a high win rate or a high risk to reward. Yes, maybe day to day you might lose a bunch of money, but over a month you should definitely have gained money. Over the next month you should gain even more money, and stuff like that. So that's one of the those are 3 things. If we talk about the best strategy out there, those are 3 things that the best strategy should include. Now let's get into some specifics. So before that, quick heads up, I have my free trading bundle. It includes a free course. It has ebooks inside. It has a trade tracker Notion template. You can track all your trades. It has a gift in there, and there's a bunch more in there. If you guys want to check this out, click the first link in the description. Go check it out. It's completely free. It's very beneficial. Go check that out. So now let's go into the 4 steps of the strategy that I use, right? This is the setup that pays me weekly, makes me thousands of dollars, right? Let's talk about the 4 steps. And these are things that I do every single day. They don't change. I don't change anything. It's the same system every single day. Like I said, I like to keep things simple. The first thing we have to do is we need to find volatile stocks. I don't trade Apple or Nvidia or options or Forex. I don't trade any of this stuff. I trade volatile stocks. If you think about big companies like Apple or Nvidia, they might only go up 1 or 2% a day. That isn't going to cut it for me. I need stocks to go up 10% a day, 15%, 100% a day. Because even if a stock goes up 100% a day, all I need to do is just capture a tiny percentage of that gain upwards, and I've made my 10%. I've made my profit for the day. I can move on. So that's the first step we're going to talk about, how to find the volatile stocks every single day. The next thing I do is I choose one of them. Let's say I have a list of 10 volatile stocks. I'm not going to be trading all the 10, am I? Right? That's stupid. I'm going to only be trading one. I'm going to choose from that list of 10 only one, and I'm going to be trading that. So that's the next step. The third step is obviously to buy. We're not going to be buying it immediately. We're going to be waiting for a specific setup, which I'll talk about. Once we see everything put into place, that's exactly when I buy. And the last step obviously is to sell for some profit and repeat this every single day. So now let's get into the steps. The first step is to scan. Now, a stock screener is just a place where you can have access to like all the stocks in the stock market, all 10,000, 20,000 stocks in the stock market, and you can filter them out from whatever you want. So in this case, we're going to be focusing on gappers, right? So we need a stock screener. The one I use is on TradingView. You can use whatever you want. The main thing is you need to sort the list by gap percentage and a minimum of a 20% gap. If the stock's gapping up 5%, it's not going to do shit. You need the stock to be gapping up minimum 20%, and you're good to go. So on the screen, you can see a screenshot of a screener. You can see over here, we have the ticker. All of the tickers are down over here. We have the description, the name of the company, and then most importantly, we have the gap percentage, minimum of 20%. So you can see this company over here, Sinai, Imona, whatever the fuck this is, it gapped up 138%. Fantastic. If you can see a screen like this in front of you, you're good to go. Don't overcomplicate it. We can move on to step 2. The next thing I do is I watch list. So all of these stocks, however many there are on screen, let's say there's 10. I'm not going to be trading all 10, like I said. I'm only going to be trading one. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which ones to just cancel out, which ones to say, you know what, this isn't good. This isn't good either. I don't like this. You know what, I like this one, for example. That's the next step. So let's get into that. The way we do this is we analyze every single gapper. We look at the chart and we see which one has the highest volume, the smallest float, and the support level. We want to see these characteristics, right? We do not want to be trading stocks with a massive market cap, barely any volume, terrible float. We don't want to be doing that. So for example, this specific day, I came across this gapper, right? And you can see it matches all of my criteria. There is a lot of volume, right? The volume doesn't just die out, it comes back. There's a lot of volume. I confirmed that the stock has a small float, so that's perfect. And the last thing we need is a support level. Perfect support level. I put the line already, this blue line you can see over here. Perfect support level. At first, it found resistance again. It found resistance again. 3 times the stock found resistance. Then it went up and it found support on it once. You could even argue twice, 3 and 4 times. So this stock is confirmed has a support level at this line, right? Perfect. Let's go on to step number 3. The next thing I do is I buy. So I don't buy the stock as soon as market opens, right? So when market's going to open, I'm not going to be buying it then. What I'm going to be doing is, as it says over here, I'm going to be waiting when it confirms support. So this line over here, if we extend it all the way till here, and let's say market opens, I'm going to be waiting for the stock, right, to slowly make its way down, to touch the support level. I need to confirm that this, again, is a support level. The way I do that is by checking volume. Once I see volume rushing in, that's when I enter. And then boom, I enter right over here. The stock should make an upward movement. And then when it's up, I sell over here. And I do this every single day. Keep it stupid simple. So for this stock in specific, you can see when it opened, it initially went up. But we're not going to be chasing it. We're going to wait until it gets near our support. You can see eventually it made its way down. And right over here, I saw volume surging on this candle. I saw buyers buying it up. And that's exactly when I bought right over there. All I need to do now is wait for it to go up and sell. Step number 4, next thing I do obviously is sell. There's a couple of reasons I'd sell, but the main ones are VWAP, pre-market high, all this stuff. We're going to talk about pre-market high for this one because that's the example that we're going to use. So you can see in this talk, this is exactly when I bought. It went up for a little bit, pulled back a bit, shot right up, and as soon as it hit the pre-market high level, which is about right over here, that's when I ended up selling. That's it. This is the strategy I do every single week. It's profitable, it makes sense, and the most importantly, it's simple. It makes sense to me. I understand what I'm doing. I'm not trying to sound smart with all these big concepts. I don't know what any of those mean. This is simple. It makes sense. You don't need a fucking PhD. It's amazing. So now we're going to be going through a real trade example where I made $11,798. So here we have a gapper in front of us. I'm going to explain the exact moment I entered, the exact reason I entered, the exact moment I sold, and the exact reason I sold. So let's go through it, right? We have a pre-market gapper over here. We got breaking news straight at 8 a.m. The stock shot up instantly. We can see it found a bit of resistance over here. So it went down. Then it started climbing back up. Found resistance again. It went back down. Tried climbing back up. Found resistance a third time. But eventually it broke through it. So this point right over here will be resistance. But now the interesting thing is going to be is how will this level react to the stock, right? So let's see what the stock does, right? It goes up, it goes up, it goes down. And you can see it starts finding support at this level. So before it started finding resistance, as you can see over here and over here and over here, but now it's finding support. Now when it goes near this level, people start buying it up. So instead of selling like they were before, they're buying it up now, right? Super simple stuff. Then you can see it kind of goes down, kind of goes up, kind of goes sideways. And you can see over here, it dips below it, people instantly buy back up, and it's back up now. So this is almost confirmed support. We know for a fact that this was resistance, you can see over here, and now it's being transformed into support. All I need to do now is I need to wait for market open and wait to see where this goes. And you can even see, like, it found support again for a third time, then it found it for a fourth time, and then it found it for a fifth time. So this is very clearly very strong support for the stock. We can see it has a low float over here, and we can see it has a crap ton of volume. So everything ticks off. It has a lot of volume, it has a support level, it has breaking news, and at the same time, it also has a small float. All we need to do now is I'm going to play it minute by minute on the replay mode, and I'm going to tell you exactly when I entered, exactly when I sold, and that's about it. So let's see what happens. The first minute the stock opens, and it goes up. This isn't great for me. I do not want to be entering when the stock is going up, because remember, I said I'm going to be entering when the stock is near my support level, right? This is not near my support level. It's going up. I'm not going to be buying it. So I'm going to continue waiting, right? You have to be patient with this stuff, right? You can see it's going up again. A lot of you guys will be tempted to buy right over here, but that's wrong because you never know what's going to happen, right? I'm still patient. I still haven't entered. Let's see what happens the next minute. Next minute, it dive bombs. And some of you guys might have sold for a loss, but again, I still haven't entered, right? So we continue waiting, we see what happens. This candle we can see goes down and it goes back up. This is very, very bullish. Like, this proves to us that this level, like the line we put over here, is for a fact support. Because as soon as it dipped, buyers bought it up instantly. And in fact, while this was actually happening, it was so quick that I didn't even get a chance to even place a buy order. That's how fast it happened. But again, I'm so patient, let's see what happens. Then the stock crashes a little bit. That's okay, you can see it's on lower volume, so it's perfectly fine. The next candle, let's see what happens. You can see it's red, but you can see volume is higher on this candle, and you can see that there's a bottom wick, which means that buyers are interested. That is exactly when I buy. Simple as that. All I need to do now is I need to wait for the stock to go up, preferably to pre-market high. Once it's at pre-market high, I'm going to be selling. Simple as that. Let's see what happens. Next candle, it starts going up. It's like, okay, this is pretty decent. Next few candles, it kind of pulls back a little bit, whatever. But then it continues making a move up. Makes a move up again. Pulls back for a little bit. Again, pre-market high is at about this level. I'm still waiting for the stock to hit this level. That's what I'm going to be selling. It still hasn't hit that. It's gone close, but it hasn't hit that. So I'm still in the stock. Eventually it hits the pre-market high, and when it hits the pre-market high, I click sell, and then boom, I'm out for a 16% gain in, like, what was this, like 6 or 7 minutes max. I'm up $11,000. This is a strategy that I do every single week. I've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years. It's insanely profitable. You can see the entire trade review where I explain my entries and exits if you're inside the community in the Draco as well as all of my other trade reviews. And if you're serious about trading this strategy alongside me and a bunch of others, you can join the Draco. These are a couple of wins from Draco. There's so many wins, these are just the ones that I can fit on screen, right? Let me show you what's inside Draco. Inside Draco, we have a bunch of different channels. We have a daily watch list where I literally tell you the stocks that I'm going to be trading. We have trade reviews, we have a full course inside, you get access to me, and there's so much more. There's all of these channels. In the watch list channel, for example, you can see that every single day I tell you guys the exact stock I'm going to be trading, and I lay out the exact support. So you don't need to guess what stock I'm going to be trading, and you don't need to guess the support level because I literally tell it to you every single day. You also get access to 100+ trade reviews and live reviews and month reviews, all this stuff. I make videos, every single trade that I make videos explaining why I bought, why I sold, everything. It's all in there. It's amazing to study from. So if you guys do want to join the Draco Room, email me at this email on screen to join. I'm going to be closing the group pretty soon to just focus on the members that are inside currently. So if you do want to join, email me at that email. I'll try to get you a spot inside. If you guys want to watch the video where I explain the 51,551 per month trading strategy that I wish I knew sooner, it's a full guide. Click the video just popped up. As always guys, subscribe, like, all the good YouTube stuff, and as a reminder, get the free trading bundle. It's the first link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.